Hi everyone, my name's Katrina and I'm one of the teachers at Outdoor School Bogong, and today I'm going to talk you through a whole lot of clothing and pieces of equipment that you're going to need to pack to bring on your camp when you come to Bogong here. Whatever season that is will probably depend on what you pack, but I'll give you a bit of an overview and that will show you the majority of stuff to cater for summer through to winter. So this is probably mainly targeted at our Future Maker programs. But if you're looking at this video resource and needing to use it for other than that, then it should suit for that as well. So I'll just talk through a bunch of stuff. Firstly, you're going to need to bring your stuff in a bag of some sorts. I personally find a bit of a duffel bag like this a good way to go. They're light, they're easy to carry. If you only have a suitcase at home, then that's okay as well. But that one's a nice easy one to carry because you're going to need to take your personal stuff up a couple of flights of stairs to where the dormitories are. Other essentials you need to bring for sleeping while you're here at Bogong is a pillow, nice and cosy, and a sleeping bag. You don't need to have one that's terribly thick. This is one of my lighter ones that I have. You're going to have a sheet on your bed. You'll be sharing a room with someone most likely. And just a sort of light to medium weight sleeping bag for while you're here on site. When you do go and do your journey, you will be given one of our sleeping bags to use, which is, rated for the conditions up at Bogong to make sure you stay nice and warm. So I'm just going to chuck stuff to the side as we go. Starting with a few small items, you'll bring a few toiletries obviously. When you come to Bogong for use here, you'll have access to showers. But when you're up on the high plains on your hike, or on your journey, wherever that may take you, you'll probably just want something small, a bit like this. So in here I've got a toothbrush and toothpaste, some moisturiser. It never goes astray, particularly when your hands get a bit chapped through the winter months. I also highly recommend some lip balm or pawpaw cream, that kind of thing, because cracked lips are never a really good idea. With lots of exposure to the sun and the wind while you're up there, you'll probably find that will happen over time. So keep things nice and light and small. Even in terms of a hair comb, I've got a good old-fashioned Islander afro kind of comb, but you guys can just bring something small if you've got long hair that you think you need to deal with. But just try and keep it pretty small and compact. Sun essentials: hat, broad brim, keeps you shaded all the way around your ears, neck, all that sort of thing. Really, we require one of these at Bogong for when you're going on your walk, as opposed to a cap, which is only going to protect your face at the front and you'll still cop a lot of the sun on your cheeks and neck. So go for a broad brimmed hat. Sunscreen, absolute essential. Bring some of that with you, particularly if you need to use a particular brand. And a pair of sunglasses. Fantastic support for your eyes, to protect your eyes. Any time of the year really when you're going walking, and if it's a sunny day, it's nice to be able to shade your eyes. So I've just got a pair of sunnies in a little case. You can always just bring yours free. They don't have to be in a case, it's up to you. Now, a bandana is another really good idea. Can work for a couple of things, but one of the ones I find it really helpful for is in summer. If it's a really hot day and you're wanting to keep your head cool, you can dunk this in a bit of water and wrap it around your neck loosely, and it'll keep your neck nice and cool, and you can just keep adding a bit of water to that through the day to keep you nice and cool. Alright, so that's a great little just bonus addition. I always bring a book with me. I'm going to advertise Tim Cope's book here, Tim and Tiggin. You'll probably find there's a bit of downtime while you're here on camp, so whether you're here at on site or while you're up there on your bushwalk, you will have some downtime, maybe when you're going to bed at night and you want to have a read of something. So think about bringing a book, and a simple Ziploc bag, something like that, will keep it dry so that it doesn't get damaged in your pack. A torch is vital for coming on program. You need to be able to get around at night, particularly while you're off on your journey. So I recommend a head torch. If there's one thing in your kit that you can probably put a little bit of money to, then a head torch is the way to go, because it means that when you've got it on, you've got your hands free to cook or move around in your tent and do whatever you need to do. So think about one of those, investing in one of those if you don't have one. It's not vital, a handheld torch will do the job as well. So just some other smaller items to go through. A little buff is a really handy thing if you're going to be up here, perhaps not even just in the winter, but any time of year. It can still get cold up at Bogong on the high plains. So, excuse me, doing a little bit of a dressing job here for you. A buff does a really nice job of being a scarf and protecting your neck from the cold. And if need be, you can also cover up with it. If it's windy, you can use it as a bit of a headband or to taggle your hair back. It's totally up to you. It's very versatile. If you're looking for a way to upcycle something and make it simply, I found an old pair of stretchy pants that I had were no longer in good condition in the top section of them, but I was able to cut the bottom of the leg off and turn it into a little buff. So you can do things like that and even make your own. Other hats, a beanie, really good one to keep your head warm. Vital to have one of those. A pair of nice little lightweight gloves is really probably key at any time of the year as well. And I find these little fingerless gloves a fantastic thing to be able to cook in. If you do get cold, you can still move around and use your hands. So just a few ideas for you. None of these are compulsory necessarily, just great ideas. Now socks is a really common one. We get students bring a lot of their short sports socks like this, and they tend to be okay for sort of hanging out around here. But as soon as you're bushwalking, kind of want to get rid of those, and you need to upgrade and have something a little bit better quality. So we're looking for something that's wool or nylon or a bit of a mix. Something that comes above your ankles, because most likely you'll be wearing a pair of boots similar to this, either borrowed here from us, or you may have your own that you're bringing as your walking attire. So I may as well jump and segue into that. So some really good footwear is absolutely vital for your hike. Make sure that if you do buy your own boots, you've worn them in for quite a long period of time, you've tramped around and experimented with them, so that you know that you're not going to get any blisters and you've been able to kind of make them adjust to your feet. Bit of ankle support is a great idea. I'm not going to go into all the different brands and details of that sort of stuff. We'll leave that for perhaps when staff come to you and visit you at schools, or you can also always contact Bogong or your teachers at your school and ask them details about that. But a lace-up style shoe, leather or partial leather, with a good ankle support and some good tread on the bottom is basically what you need to be looking for. You'll also need another pair of shoes for while you're here on site as well. So just a basic runner or sneaker will do the job for that, for getting around. And you always need a couple of pairs of shoes, because one pair of shoes you might be using for water activities like canoeing and that sort of thing. So definitely bring at least 2 pairs of shoes, maybe think about bringing 3. Still going okay there, Russ? Yep. Excellent. My cameraman behind the scenes. So into some warmer, actually I might start with base layers. So thermals are pretty vital to bring with you on camp. So these are a woolen type of long john, but you guys might invest in some synthetic ones. There's lots of fairly cheap ones out there that you can get at Anaconda or online, or through even through Aldi. A lot of the time they have them for sale. So I have a winter woolen top and pants that I wear, and the idea with all this stuff is that you can layer things. Okay, so that's my base layer. Then I've got some trousers which are like a lightweight material, a bit of quick dry material, and they're going to do me fine for hanging around here or even walking in if I want to. Got a bit of stretch in them. We want to stay away from jeans and heavy sort of pants like that, because they're not very comfortable to walk in, soak up the water if it rains or if it's dewy and all that sort of stuff. So they're really unsuitable to go bushwalking in. I also recommend a pair of nice warm tracky pants. So pretty much anything you guys have got, something along the synthetic line is usually a little bit lighter weight to wear and carry, and they're a nice polar fleece pair of tracksuit pants. Now, depending on the time of year that you're coming here, you'll probably also need some shorts. So same kind of thing, think about having something that's going to cover your legs a little bit, Board shorts are actually quite good to wear and they can be really comfortable to walk in. A lot of the time people will wear their thermals and then the shorts over the top and walk in things like that. These are also really handy to have board shorts for a canoeing session or anything else you might be doing like pioneering, which is going to involve being in the water. So then we've gone from legs up to our upper body. You'll obviously need a bunch of t-shirts, really handy, basic piece of attire, kind of everyday wear I guess for here. Stuff that's comfortable and that you can move in easily. You know, you're going to be fairly active while you're here on site. Rock climbing and going on the high ropes potentially and doing all kinds of fairly active activities. So you want to be able to move freely and feel comfortable. Now this is I guess a bit more of a high-tech piece of gear in terms of a shirt. This is a synthetic one that I bought for bushwalking, but you guys can just go to the op shop and have a look for an old business shirt or something similar. Something with a collar can be really good to keep the sun off you, and these are really awesome for bushwalking in. Okay, they keep you covered from the sun, so you don't have to use as much sunscreen, you don't get burnt, and they're nice and light to wear. Okay, so they can be awesome for both summer and winter. If it's winter and you're a bit cold, you can wear your thermal underneath your shirt. And the idea is that you layer. So going up again into our next layer, simple things like some old wool jumpers. I got this one from the op shop, so already got some holes happening in it. This is a great, nice, lightweight layer that I will wear just over a thermal or over a t-shirt. If I'm just a bit cool and need to, you know, stay warm enough for walking. Or you can buy, or you might already have your own, a polar fleece kind of jumper. They're nice and padded, I guess, nice and thick, and keep you warm. This one's handy too because it's got a zipper, so if I'm getting too hot I can just unzip a little bit. So there's all sorts of designs and styles out there and that kind of thing for you guys to look at. Now just a few other little items that you may have access to or you might already own, and please don't go purchasing stuff wildly or thinking you need to get all this extra gear if you don't own it, because lots of layers, like 2 or 3 jumpers, is still possible to wear under a raincoat and keep you nice and toasty even in the middle of winter. But if you do happen to have something similar, a vest is a really nice addition to things because it means you can kind of keep your core body nice and warm, and the rest of you is kind of free to move around and you don't overheat while you're walking or doing activities. So that's a good thing to think about. Not necessarily as popular for teenagers, but it's a great one to have. And of course the old puffer jacket that is becoming fairly popular these days. So I won't really go into a lot of detail about that. But if you have one, nice to bring. Just remember that you'll also need some lightweight layers for walking in. Because if you just go hiking with one big jacket, thinking that's going to suit for everything, then you'll realise very quickly that it doesn't suit every circumstance. Okay? A couple other little things that's just handy that I guess as a woman walking in the outdoors, I've noticed over the years lots of girls that come on our programs progressing to just wearing leggings or something similar. They're completely adequate and fine to go walking in as well. You definitely just want to make sure that it's something that's going to last and with a bit of, you know, the abrasion of grasses and things that you might be walking through and walking past. So that's most of that equipment and gear. I just want to now point out to you a few of the items that you'll get when you come here to Bogong to visit. That will also be just that great assistance for you to keep you warm and dry and to be able to allow you to carry your gear. So you'll be given a day pack when you come, just to kind of, this is mainly for on site here. You won't be taking this off on your bushwalk. That will allow you to carry a drink bottle around, your lunch, that kind of thing, to all your activities. So don't stress too much if you don't have a small bag to bring, because you'll get given one. You'll also get given a water bottle and some other equipment, but I'm just showing you a couple of the items. Now your outer layer that will go over the top of all this if it's really cold, or maybe just over one layer if you're needing it and it's raining, is you'll get a pair of overpants that we call them. It's kind of like a raincoat for your legs, okay? So we size you up when you arrive and you'll get a pair of those. and that basically goes over the top of your shorts or your thermals. Okay. You'll also get given a good raincoat that comes with a hood. This is to keep you dry. It also keeps the wind out and keeps you nice and toasty. Okay. So if you do own your own raincoat or your overpants as well, you're welcome to bring them along, and our teachers will just check them out and make sure that we think that they're going to stand up to the conditions here and give those to you. So I think I've covered most of it. I hope all this information and showing you some of the equipment here is helpful. I don't have one right here. Actually I do. One sec, I'll duck out of the picture. I was just going to show you the big backpack that you'll get. So your duffel bag is obviously just to get all your stuff here, but when you actually go on your hike, you'll be given one of these, nice big pack that you can fit all your stuff inside of your sleeping bag, your mat, your personal gear. You'll waterproof it, and you'll also need to carry some of the food, your stove and all that sort of stuff in your tent. So just wanted you to be aware of that's the stuff that you're going to get. Anyway, best of luck everyone, and hope to see you when you come here.